everyone. In a previous video, I reviewed with you what a mobile home park was. So just to review, this is a mobile home park. It is made up of homes that were built in a factory, then transported to a community. And as a mobile home park investor, you are buying the entire park with all of these units. Either these units are owned by you or they're owned by the resident. And this is what you are actually investing in. You're not investing in just a single mobile home, but the entire mobile home park or manufactured housing community or land lease community or trailer park. These are all different terminology to describe the same thing. So let's take a look here at what a sample mobile home park deal might look like. So if you're looking at a listed deal is something that a seller has contracted with a broker to try to help them sell their mobile home park, in which case the broker usually is going to put together what's known as an offering memorandum. This is going to be an overview of the deal, and in it, it's going to describe the deal, and it's going to go through all the different types of housing units that are in the mobile home park. So let's take a look at all these different types of housing units. So in this sample deal here, there are a total of 100 lots. So a lot is one where each one of these housing units is put. That's like considered one lot. So if it's 100 lots, it would be essentially 100 of these housing units. Some of the lots may be empty, but they'd still count toward the total lot count. So the total lot count, there's 100 total lots. In it, there are 75 tenant-owned homes. So what is a tenant-owned home? So tenant-owned home is when an individual resident or tenant owns one of these homes. So some of these homes might be owned by you as the mobile home park owner, and some of these homes might be owned directly by the tenants. If it's owned directly by the tenants, then all they're doing is they're paying you lot rent in order for them to be able to park their home on your mobile home park, on your land. So tenant-owned homes tend to be the most favorable types of tenants that you want. If they own their own home as a mobile home park investor, you are not responsible for the repairs and maintenance of the home. So that tends to help out with expenses and also sort of the headache factor of managing a investment. If you can find a mobile home park with mostly tenant-owned homes, then you're looking good. The banks are going to smile favorably upon parks that have mostly tenant-owned homes. They prefer them. The appraisers prefer them. And overall, your cap rate when you buy and when you sell is going to be lower if the mobile home park has majority of tenant-owned homes. So then the next type of unit that we can go over is what's called a park-owned home or a POH. POH, again, same thing. It's just a housing unit that's owned by you, the owner. And so these park-owned home units are also sometimes called rental units. So when it comes to park-owned homes, if they're occupied with a renter in them, then it's POH occupied, but they might not be occupied. So if they're not occupied, they might be rehabs. And so these are just mobile homes that the community owns that you're going to have to fix up in some way before you can rent them out or sell them off to a tenant. They might be demos. If they're demos, then it just means that these are park-owned homes that you have that you can't rehab and that you're going to have to demolish. You're going to have to, haul them away, crush them and then haul them away, and then hopefully bring in another home to replace that. Another type of housing unit that you might have are what's called abandoned homes. And these are homes that used to be tenant-owned, but then the owners of the home just left. And so now you have to deal with it. You have to find a way to get title. And then once you get title, you can figure out whether you can rehab it and try to sell it off, or whether you just want to demolish it and haul it away. Typically, if it's been abandoned, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of value in the home. So you have total lots, you have tenant-owned homes, you have the park-owned homes that are occupied, you have potential rehabs, you have abandoned homes, you have demo homes. So if you take a look here, and I just did a quick adding function here, there are 100 lots that have homes on them. So in this particular example here, all of the lots actually have a home on them. And so you can see here in line 11, there are 0 vacant lots. So there's no lots that need you to bring in a new home. If you have demos, eventually you're going to have to deal with a demo. So let's say once you get rid of those demos, then you'll have empty lots, because now those demos have been hauled away, and now you have 5 empty lots in which you have to fill them up with new homes, hopefully, or bring in used homes or something along those lines. If they're abandoned and you end up just getting rid of them, then now you have 10 vacant lots, 90 lots with homes on them and 10 vacant lots. Or maybe these abandoned, once you figure out the abandoned process, end up becoming rehabs for you. So now again, you have 5 empty lots, vacant lots, because of the demos that you hauled away. The abandoneds got converted to rehabs. So you have a total of 95 lots that actually have homes on them. So here, take a look here at the bottom. Sometimes brokers and other people will refer to physical occupancy versus economic occupancy. So the physical occupancy, what they mean by that is a number of lots that actually have a physical home on them. And this took me the longest time to figure out, because I was used to multifamily and I was thinking about physical occupancy in terms of, well, there's got to be a resident in there. But sometimes they'll be talking about physical occupancy in terms of just having a home on a lot. And sometimes they'll talk about, I've actually had brokers who talk about physical occupancy in terms of having someone in the home but not paying rent. So for example, if you have employees working in your park that you're giving free rent to, they might include that in the physical occupancy. I'm just bringing this up so when you're talking with the brokers, everyone has different terminology. Just make sure if something's not clear or doesn't make sense, go ahead and ask questions. I mean, I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of deals now, and sometimes it stumps me. And I'll get something like this, and I'll start to count them up by one by one by myself, and the counts will never add up. So physical occupancy refers to mobile home empty lots, mobile home lots that actually have a home on them. So as you can see here, the physical occupancy, because there's 95 total lots with homes on them, is 95%. So 95 out of the total lots, 100. The economic occupancy, on the other hand, this refers to the amount of people who are actually paying. So here, it's only 85, right? Because it's only the tenant-owned homes and the POH that are occupied that are actually paying. So in this case, you have an economic occupancy of 85%, you have a physical occupancy of 95%, and you have 5% vacant lots that you want to fill up in the future if you can. So just to recap here, you have tenant-owned homes. So tenant-owned homes, also known as TOH, is when the tenant actually owns the mobile home in the park. This is considered the ideal, the best situation, the best of what you can have if it's possible. You have units that need to be rehabbed. So these are units that the park owns, the community owns, but they need rehab before you can rent them out. You have park-owned homes, also known as POH, mobile homes, or rentals. So these are homes that the owner owns and they're renting them out. And this is essentially just like having apartment units that are being rented out, and they essentially work the same. Abandoned homes. These are homes that were formerly owned by tenants, and the tenants have left. And now you have to go through the process of gaining title so that you can deal with the mess they left behind. Then you have demos or haulaways, also known as teardowns. And these are homes that are in such bad condition that they can't be rehabbed and that you own. And so you have to deal with hauling them away. Hauling them away improves the overall look of the park. It prevents people like squatting in your park. It prevents vandalism. All sorts of good things happen if you haul away these demos and beautify your park. And then finally, you have empty lots. And these are lots that do not have a home on them. They may be ready for a mobile home. So all the infrastructure is there, the plumbing, the water, the electrical. It's all set. The foundation, if there needs to be one, or runners, it's all prepped. And the lot is completely prepped. And all you have to do then is just order a home and bring it on. Or these empty lots, they may require some prep work. So that might include pouring a foundation. That might include upgrading electricals. That might include all sorts of things in order to get the lot ready. Maybe you just have to haul garbage off the lot in order to actually bring in a home. So these empty lots represent potential economic opportunity for you if you can fill them up. And finally, one that I didn't really go over in too much detail, rent-to-own or lease option homes. And these are homes that are in the process of being rented to the resident in order for them to own them later. They're also called RTOs, LTOs, LOPs, and RCs. RTO, rent to own, LTO, lease to own, LOP, lease option purchase, or RC, rent credit. A rent credit program is where each month the renter pays full rent. A part of that is credited to an account that eventually will accrue into a down payment in case they want to buy a home in your park. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the rent to own and lease option programs. This is there's a lot more to it. It involves different legislation and Dodd-Frank and just making sure you abide by the regulation and do this right. So I don't want to spend too much time on it in this sort of introductory videos. We'll dive into these later on as we get deeper and deeper into learning about how to invest in mobile home parks. All right, thank you very much.